Hey y'all, I'm Paula Deen. Do you really want to impress the neighbors? Well, how about a neighborhood cocktail party? Today, I want to show you an amazing menu that will leave them thinking you're the best cook in town. We're going to start off with an elegant poached salmon mousse with a yummy dill sauce. And then next, it's going to be fresh asparagus with a curry dip that's just perfect for snacking. And then my savory spinach and artichoke dip that's just over the top. And then I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite appetizers, bacon crisp. You're not going to believe how good or easy. And then last but not least, for dessert, it's my sinfully sweet date nut sticks. So y'all whistle for the neighbors, cause we're going to have a party. Getting ready to go to a neighborhood cocktail party. And the good news is that the cocktail party is not at my house. And it's kind of unfair for one person to have to host the party and do all the cooking. So my friend Barbara has agreed to have it at her house. So the least I could do was prepare some things to take to eat. I've got the champagne chilling, and I want y'all to hang with me because you're not going to believe the dishes that I'm going to be fixing up to take to Barbara's. I know they're going to love them, and I think you will too. Well, let's move right along with the first dish that I'm contributing to the party tonight. We're going to start by making a poached salmon mousse with a yummy dill sauce. But the only thing about this dish is you must make it ahead of time. A minimum of 8 hours to overnight. This is going to have to sit for us, but it's so easy and simple to put together, and I love anything that I can make ahead of time. Now, I've got a bowl here that I'm going to add 1 pack of plain gelatin to, and then I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of cold water, and I'm going to let that start blooming. And then I've got some boiling water right here, and we're going to add 1/2 cup of this hot water. Okay. And we're going to add that to our plain gelatin. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of grated onion. It's going to give you a lot stronger flavor than it would if you were just chopping your onion. And next we're going to add some capers. And 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. And a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. A tablespoon of fresh lime juice. Don't use the reconstituted. The fresh is so much better. Dash of salt. A little paprika to kind of boost the color of that salmon along. And I'm going to add 1 cup of beaten whipped cream. Because this is going to be a savory dish, not a sweet one. So we're just going to mix all of those ingredients together. All right, now to the rest of our ingredients, I'm going to add just a couple of dashes of hot sauce. Now you can add as much of that as you want. And now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to flake my poached salmon. I'm going to remove that skin, and your skin will just slip right on off. And then I'm just going to flake it into the mousse. All right, now I'm just going to fold that salmon into the other ingredients. And I've got a fish mold that I'm going to pour our mousse into. And this has been buttered very, very well because I don't want to have any trouble when I go to unmold it. All right, now we're just gonna wrap this up, seal this up with a plastic wrap. And we're gonna put this in the refrigerator and we're gonna let him sit at least 8 hours or overnight. All right, so in the meantime, let's go ahead and start on our dill sauce. All right. So I'm gonna cut the tips off and we're just gonna slip this skin off of our cucumber. All right, so we've got that peeled. And I'm gonna grate this cucumber, and I'm gonna use a strainer because, as you probably know, cucumbers contain a tremendous amount of water. There's really no pretty way to do this. Not all that easy to grate because of the seeds. There we go. All right. Look, I want to show you something. Look at all the water that has come out of that cucumber. When we come back, now that I finally got this bad boy grated, I'm going to finish showing you how to complete your cucumber dill sauce. And then we're going to make one of my all-time favorite cocktail foods, a spinach artichoke dip with mayonnaise. Okay, y'all, in case you've just peeked in on me, I'm planning some dishes for a cocktail party that I'm going to, and I want to show you how I put together this yummy cucumber dill sauce. All right, now I have drained my cucumber that I grated, and in the bowl that goes with 1 clove of minced garlic, a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, and remember to keep it fresh, not a reconstituted. All right, a cup of mayonnaise, 1 cup of sour cream, a pinch of salt, and 2/3 of a cup of diced fresh dill. And that's all it is to the sauce. We're just going to stir this together, and I'm going to put it in the fridge so those flavors can marry together, maybe 30 minutes. And this is going to be just a perfect sauce for our salmon. It's yummy. All right, let's put this away. And I've got another one that's been in here for about an hour. And our mold that I put in the fridge last night. So I'm going to unwrap this, and you can see with it being a fish that I wanted to use some type of seafood mold. Now I'm just going to gently put him in a little warm water. I want to make sure that it doesn't get into our mousse. Okay, and I'm going to come over here with a knife and just soften those edges a minute. Okay, so I'm going to situate my platter on top of him. Okay. And I'm going to hope that he comes out. There he goes. Now I'm going to garnish this by cutting the tip of this lemon off. So I'm going to use that as his eye. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just cut some little strips of lemon. And I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to accentuate his tail with these lemon strips. All right, I wanted to add a little dill because I've got this wonderful dill sauce that we're going to use with him. And I'm going to just fill this bowl up with our sauce. I'm going to nestle him right there. I'm going to take a little paprika and kind of just do on his body. All right, now the only thing we need to eat this dish is a wonderful cracker. Now I've got 2 or 3 different kind of crackers here. Personally, I love bagel chips. So that's all you need to have along with this dish. Now I'm going to move on over here and put together a hot spinach and artichoke dip that is so good. Now I'm going to start with 2 cans of artichoke hearts. I'm going to just put them in here. There's still a little bit of juice from the can, so I'm not going to pour that in there. Now if you don't have a food processor, you could do this by hand, but I'm just going to pulse. I don't want to puree it, but I just want it chopped nice and fine, because when I bite into it, I want to be able to get those pieces of artichoke. All right, we're just going to put our artichoke in our bowl. Now I have a package of chopped frozen spinach that I popped in the microwave and cooked him for like 5 minutes on high. And you'll want to make sure that after you take him out of the oven that you squeeze all that juice out of there. And you'll need to let it cool off before you can do this. Look how much water that 1 10-ounce package of spinach yielded. It's just amazing. You know how much water vegetables have in them. All right, now we're going to mix a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. It's got all my favorite condiments in it. A 1/2 cup of sour cream. And a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. And we're just going to stir all this together. We're going to put this in a preheated 350-degree oven, and we're going to bake it for about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to bake this in a cast iron skillet. All right, so I'm just going to pile this into the skillet. All right, now I'm going to top it with a grated pepper jack cheese. And in the oven it goes for 30 minutes. All right, so in the oven it goes. Oh, and look at that. How yummy does that look? This is so incredibly wonderful. When we come back, it's going to be date nut sticks, so you won't want to miss it. You won't believe how good it is, how simple. Well, thanks for coming back and joining me. We're almost ready to wrap this cocktail party up. I can't hardly wait to fix these for you. But before we start this, I want to come down here and get the date nut fingers started. I'm going to take a 1.5 sticks of butter, and I'm going to put it in our saucepan along with 2 eggs, 2 cups of granulated sugar. All right, now we're going to mix this up, and we're going to let that butter melt, and then I'm going to throw in 1 8-ounce package of chopped dates. This is the healthy ingredient to this yummy snack. All right, now we would cook this for about 10 minutes. Once it comes to a boil, we would cut down our heat, stirring it constantly, cook it for 10 minutes. Well, I've already got a pot up here that I've cooked for 10 minutes. So all we're going to do at this point is add a cup of chopped pecans and a 1.5 cups of a rice-type cereal and a tablespoon of vanilla. All right, so we're just going to mix these up real good. All right, so we're gonna pour this in our bowl. Watch it, Gertie. I'm not disturbing your nap, am I? All right, we're just gonna let that cool just for a few minutes. Now, there's a couple of ways you could do this. You could butter your hands so that it won't stick, because it's a little bit of a messy job. But I've got some ice water that I'm gonna dip my hands in, because when I go to pick this up, it'll help cool off the date nut stick, as well as keeping it off my fingers. Okay, now what we're gonna do at this point is I have some sweetened flaked coconut and roll them in the coconut. See how pretty those look. And to let people know what they're gonna be biting into, I'm just gonna pile up some dates right in the center. And look how pretty they look. I can't wait to show y'all this next little appetizer. They're so good. So I've gotten some fresh grated Parmesan cheese, and I'm gonna put about a tablespoon on each cracker. Now I've gotten my bacon, and I've cut them in two horizontally. Now we're just gonna take our bacon and wrap it around that cheese and cracker just like that. We're gonna bake these at 250 degrees for 2 hours. And we're gonna bake them slow because we want that bacon to get nice and crisp. Yum. All right, 250 degrees in a preheated oven for 2 hours. And we're gonna see if we can do this without disturbing Gertie's nap. All right, I've got some that's been in here a couple of hours. I'm gonna set them over here. I'm gonna step over here and wash my hands. I can hardly wait for y'all to make this recipe if you've never had this before. You're gonna be so surprised that something that simple, that easy, can have the kind of flavor and taste that this has. They are truly spectacular, and after all these years, remain one of my favorite hors d'oeuvres. I can't describe how good they are. And I'm gonna come down here. But look at that. Very sweet and very healthy tasting. I'm gonna run for a minute, y'all. Meet me back because I've got some tips for you. We're gonna talk about dips and fresh vegetables. So I'll see y'all back in a few minutes. So, you know, maybe you don't have a pretty bowl to serve your vegetables in. That is so easy to fix. I just happen to have some beautiful colored bell peppers in the refrigerator. I'm gonna cut the top off of that and just pop the center out, just like that. Ooh, it smells so good, and the color is so beautiful. I'm gonna fill this with some blanched asparagus, and look how beautiful the yellow and the green is together. And I'm gonna put it on my plate, and then I'm gonna come in here with a red bell pepper, and I'm gonna slice it the other way, and I'm just gonna take a little piece of it off, just like that, because I'm gonna need the depth of this bowl. Knock those seeds out, and I'm gonna fill this up with a dip. In 2 minutes, we've got a fabulous vegetable plate. I hope y'all will think of this one when you're in a last-minute jam. my friend Barbara's having a cocktail party, and I know how difficult it is to get your house cleaned up and prepare all the food. So I'm bringing her a few dishes to help her out. The poached salmon mousse with the dill sauce is just such an elegant appetizer. And the date nut sticks are just a fun little sweet finger food. And the artichoke and spinach dip is so over the top. But the one thing that I really, really want y'all to try is this little appetizer that I've been making since I was a girl, the bacon crisp. You're not going to believe how delicious it is. So I hope that when y'all have a cocktail party or you need a dish to take to somebody's house, that you'll think of one of these. So until next time, America, I send you love and best dishes from my kitchen to yours.